All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BASHIM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone, and peace and blessings to the whole collective Israel. And as you can see the title of this article, what if Trump refuses to concede the election? All right, so going to prophecy, how the Lord is hardening the heart of Pharaoh once again. All right, today, so-called America would be known as modern day Egypt. All right, and modern day Pharaoh would be Donald Trump, right, the president. Okay, so going into this man being hardened, right, for what? The purpose, intent of prophecy coming to pass, so the Lord can multiply his signs and wonders in this land. Okay, because going into Donald Trump, best believe he has handlers, right, and he has handlers giving him advice, counseling him, and telling him, ultimately what he should do, what he should not do. Okay, concerning him leaving the office or whatnot if he comes out to lose the election. All right, but ultimately the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right, so I'll come back to this. This is whoops, past it. This is Proverbs 21 and verse 1. Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord YAHAWASHI. All right, meaning his mind. All right, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay, because the Lord is the one steering, all right, the hearts and minds of the rulers of the planet Earth, and ultimately every living creature in existence. But going to specifics, the Lord's in control of what happens, all right, as far as the mind of these rulers that are set in place here on the earth. Okay, you think about, all the kings past. Okay, according to the other ancient kingdoms, you had King Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, you had, you had Cyrus the Great. Okay, you had, so on and so forth, going into the Roman Caesars. Okay, you had Alexander the Great. All right, the Greek. Okay, all their hearts were what? In the hand of YAHAWASHI. Because why? Because prophecy had to be fulfilled. All right. So today is no different. All right. This verse 2. Every way of man is right in his own eyes. So, going into the wicked, they justify their own selves by their wicked doings. All right. And they have other plans in their mind, going into ultimately them trying to fulfill the New World Order. All right. But they're all being steered to destruction. Okay. Because that's the ultimate counsel of the Lord, is that so-called America, all right, being ran by the wicked. All right. Going into this beast system. All right. You got NATO, the EU, and that horde is sitting on top of the beast, being so-called America. All right. This place is predestined to be destroyed. All right. This, this system is going to be done away with very, very shortly after the return of the Lord. Okay. YAHAWASHI, when he implements his authority, all right, upon the planet Earth and reigns. Okay. But, again, going into ultimately, this is all about prophecy. Okay. So we're going to Pharaoh's heart being hardened. All right. This is all going into, what's going to be happening upon the planet Earth. You read Revelation 12 and 12. It says, the devil shall come down having great wrath, knowing he had but a short time. All right. So it's not just one man. It's ultimately a council. Okay. So the council is going to be what? Shut down the cities. Okay. Have martial law. All right. Force vaccinations. And ultimately, again, we've been going into, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, going to Apostle Haran down about this chip. Okay. This chip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. But not to ramble on too much. I can probably go back to, matter of fact, if I can spell, hopefully I spelled that right. There we go. Yeah, let me see. I start at the top. Exodus chapter 7 and verse 1. All right, because going into the salvation is getting to come to you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans. Going to specifically the elect of you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, the Americans, the Israelites. All right, it's going to be a greater deliverance than it was in the time of ancient Egypt. So this is going into that second Exodus, which is going to ultimately take place here, for the most part in so-called America. All right, of course, wherever we've been scattered. All right, but the majority of the show, the main story is, going into here in so-called America, being Babylon the Great. Exodus chapter 7 in verse 1. And the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Okay, so going to that word God, meaning a judge. Okay, you're the authority. All right, because the Lord has given us the authority. Going into the prophets, all right, over all the nations. Okay, prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. Okay, and telling you what's to come to pass. All right, very very surely. All right, in these coming days. All right, so I made thee a God to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. And thou shalt speak all that I command thee, and Aaron thy brother shall speak unto Pharaoh, that he send the children of Israel out of his land. Okay, so going into letting us go. Okay, which, going into the book of Jeremiah says, Judah and Israel are pressed together. They that held them fast and refused to let them go. Okay, well, if we paraphrase. Okay, so we're in the same scenario. Okay, Judah being the southern kingdom, all right, so-called Negroes, your so-called Haitians and your so-called Jamaicans. Okay, being the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then Israel being the rest of the northern tribes. Okay, the Latino and Native American tribes. Okay, we're here together oppressed. Again, going into majority, most part here in so-called America. And again, wherever we've been scattered, because the wicked setup is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So they have control over the entire planet Earth. But here is verse 3. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. Okay, so, with Pharaoh, modern day Pharaoh being hardened, okay, today again being Donald Trump, all right, this is ultimately going to what? Fulfill prophecy, okay? So with this man being hardened, the Lord's going to raise up a standard, okay? Going into, again, making his signs and his wonders be magnified. They're going to be magnified through his men, because you read up earlier, going into Moses and Aaron, okay? The Lord has his servants here on the planet Earth, all right? And, going to the Lord's servants, the prophets, he doeth nothing but revealeth his secrets unto them. Okay, and the secret is that, the Lord's men are going to do wonderful and beautiful things here very shortly before this destruction comes. Okay, and then ultimately, again, those men being beamed up, those men, women, and children going to elect, again, being up out here, because that's what it's about, being saved, salvation. Okay, and the balance is destruction, okay, to the rest of the wicked. It says, but verse 4, but Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I may lay my hand upon Egypt. All right, so that's going to justify the Lord in destroying this place. Okay, again, modern day Egypt being so-called America. I read the book of Revelations, talk about, their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of, if you're paraphrasing, spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt. Okay, spiritual Egypt, because you have great captivity. Okay, it's great bondage. Okay, and Sodom, because all the sodomy that goes on, pretty much the vile affections. All right, man and man, woman and woman doing things that are unseemly. Okay, it's against nature. All right, and those dead bodies are going into us because we fell away from our heritage, but we've been awoken. All right, now we've been given that breath again, being this wisdom, this understanding, and this knowledge of YAHAWASHI. But read again, Exodus 7 and verse 4. But Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that I might lay my hand upon Egypt and bring forth mine armies, right, and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. Okay, so pestilence. Okay, going into the Lord's sword plagues. Okay, famine. All right, the sword. Right, and noisome beast. Okay, because going into these animals, they're gonna be hungry too. Okay, a lot of people have dogs. Okay, big dogs at that. All right, and they're not gonna be fed. They're gonna start hallucinating too. The Lord can put spirits on them, and they're gonna come after you people. All right, you got these zoo animals. You got animals in the sea. You got these you got birds. Okay, wild animals. All right, so going into great judgments, and this judgment that's we're coming to right now. We read Daniel's 12th chapter. It's gonna be a time like no other. Okay, you got how many people on the planet Earth? Whatever, 8 billion, 7 billion people, and the majority of them are wicked. All right, and the Lord said He shall not at all quit the wicked. So according to the slain, the Lord shall be many. That's why this judgment is going to be so great. All right, and then going to the Lord's armies, going into the angels, going into was it Revelation 12th chapter about that war in heaven. Okay, the devil and his armies, all right, his navy, okay, his air force, his his whatever, okay, air force, space force. All right, they're gonna what? they're going to go and fight against the Lord and his angels. Okay, going into, of course, YAHAWASHI being number one, and then, Michael going into the archangels, Michael, Uriel, Gabriel, all right, and Raphael. All right. So, think about Lot. I'm not going to ramble on to verse 5, but going into Lot, the angels guiding him out of the city. Okay. Stuff like this is going to happen. All right. To the Lord's servants. Okay. Because why? Because they feared his name. It's verse 5, Exodus 7:5. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord Yahawah. All right, Bahashim Yahushai, when I stretch forth my hand upon Egypt and bring out the children of Israel from among them. All right, so again, this is doing is fulfilling prophecy, speeding up prophecy. The Lord showing the dates. All right, we don't know the day nor hour. 2020 could be the year, we don't know. 2021. This devil could be a tyrant. Going to a dictator. Because when you call martial law and he's not conceding. All right, he's pretty much becoming a dictator. All right, and now he's in control. He doesn't have to leave. Again, he has handlers, and it's very intrinsic. How's the word go? Intrinsic. It's complicated. But unless going to simplicity of Yahushua is, it doesn't matter what these devils do. They're gonna be destroyed. All right, but here's another precept I was thinking of. I think it's in the book, so probably could have made it easier if I just searched. Here, this is Sirach 16, and I'll start at verse 14. Make way for every work of mercy, for every man shall find according to his work. So, we're going into the judgment that's coming. You measuring the time diligently, and you understand the time we're in being the last days. Ultimately, you're supposed to be inquiring how the godly shall be safe. All right, there's a way out. All right, the Lord is not a false balance. Okay, so with great destruction coming, and we going to Egypt, there was a great deliverance. All right, not this time that it's not going to be this time that all Israel is going to be saved. Physically. Okay, because 2/3 of people are going to die. All right, but going into, at the end of the day, it's going to be a great salvation because even though 2/3 are going to perish, they're going to be in the kingdom. All right, by them being destroyed and the elect being saved, that's how the mercy is going to be extended upon the planet Earth. Okay, through those men, through the Spirit power Yahawah. But again, trying to find a way to escape these things, and the blueprint's already been laid. All right, what we should be doing, what should we be talking about? Okay, how we should conduct ourselves. All right, the example's already been set. All right, by our big bro Yahushua. Okay, and under Yahushua is the men who the Lord set in their own order. All right, for us to follow as well, because they follow order as well. Okay, every man his own orders. Verse 15, the Lord hardened Pharaoh that he should not know him, that his powerful works might be known to the world. Okay, so this judgment that's coming, right, it will be televised. Okay, it will be spoken of, all right, forever. Okay, because again, going to this time we're coming into now, it's not going to be spoken of what happened to the children, being delivered out of ancient Egypt. It's going to be the modern day Egypt being so-called America, and that's prophecy. Okay, so by the Lord hardened Pharaoh, which I probably could read some of this article, this is how the Lord is going to be magnified. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Says Trump campaign claimed the election is not over, and Trump himself is falsely tweeting that the results from Philadelphia can't be trusted. The problem for the president is that Biden has won the 2020 election as Pennsylvania put him over the threshold of 720 electoral votes. All right, and this is just showing you that democracy is all fake. Okay, these devils do what they want to do. Okay, and they always have some type of loophole. All right, that you never heard of. All right, and they do what the hell they want to do upon the planet Earth. Okay, they have no accountability. Okay, there's always somebody else's fault. Somebody's cheating, this and that. But going to the ultimate judge, Yahawah, he sees all this. Okay, this is all just madness to him. Okay, that's why this place is called Babylon the Great. Okay, it's nothing but pure hell and pure confusion upon this planet Earth. Okay, but let me try to stick to what I need to. This is Isaiah chapter 19. Because going to the spirit of Egypt failing. Okay, this whole democracy setup. It's failing, okay? Because it never, in the day, it never was in place for the people anyways, because that's why they have things like martial law, okay? Where the Constitution is invalid and the president, you know, becomes the ruler, okay? As well as the military, okay? This is Isaiah 19 verse 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord YAHAWASHI shall rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. Okay, so going into that swift cloud, what he's talking about? Okay, a cloud. He's gonna fly on a nimbus cloud like Dragon Ball Z. No, he's talking about the chariots. Okay, the so-called UFOs. Okay, a swift cloud. You see how fast these things move? They reappear, disappear. Okay, travel different dimensions. Can be big, be small. Okay, it says it shall come into Egypt. Okay, there's gonna be an invasion. Okay, so-called invasion. I said, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved out of his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay, so all these idols, okay, the dollar bill, all right, Cesare Borgia, the false image of the Messiah, all right, the false image of the Most High and the angels. Okay, all these idols, people praying to these dead things, okay, things of wood and stone, things that have no breath in them, no life in them. Okay, they don't judge, they don't do anything. They can't move, okay, can't speak, can't do anything, okay. So they're going to be moved out of this presence. Because why? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. Okay, that what? YAHAWASHI is Lord. It's verse 2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, right? And that's happening right here. This is what you see. Okay, they're we're going into a transition of presidents, and they can't even come to an agreement on that. Okay, going into Satan being divided against Satan. Okay, you got these these ballots going in and going to the popular votes. All right, the country's split. Okay, every state split. Okay, so you got millions of people that did not want this man in office. Okay, so that's just going into the setup of a modern day civil war. Okay, it's not gonna be as simple as back then when you had the Union states and you had the Southern states. Okay, the Confederacy. All right, and everybody lines up in a line and they shoot muskets. Okay, it's not gonna be fought like that. Okay, and especially going to World War III. It's gonna be fought by missiles, okay? But here, Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, city against city. That's happening, okay? City against city. You got states fighting, you got counties fighting, okay, amongst each other. Okay, they can't find to an agreement. Okay, you got states wanting to, going into Texas. Texas, has an opportunity to break loose for the country. Okay, again, this is setting up for a civil war. And these devils want that. Okay, because going into order out of chaos. Okay, martial law being declared. Military comes in. All right, new world order established. Okay, false flags. Okay, and mandatory implementation of the alphabet microchip, which is the mark of the beast. This is verse 3. And the spirit of the Egyptians shall fail in the midst thereof. All right, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So that's what they're doing. That's why you have these wicked holidays. Okay, you have Halloween that just passed. You got Thanksgiving. You got Christmas. You got things like Black Friday. Okay, these devils, paying off their wizards, their charmers. Okay, because they're on payroll. Okay, every kingdom had them. Okay, the Babylonians. All right, all of them had these witches and warlocks putting up wicked enchantments. Okay. Not only on the world, but especially on your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans, okay? But that's just what they're doing, okay? You read Isaiah 47 chapter, okay? They're worried in the multitude of their counsels because they're trying to find a way, all right, to upset prophecy, okay? So the spirit of Egypt failing, it's not the same no more, okay? Football, basketball, all that stuff it's not the same no more, okay? Sports, people going out, we're getting ready to come into a second lockdown. Okay, the land of mirth, all right, is getting ready to cease. Ultimately, again, with the cherry on top being these thermonuclear missiles, all hell breaking loose. Prior to that, there's Isaiah 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord YAHAWASHI of hosts. All right, so so this would be an example of a cruel lord. Okay, Lord is a ruler. Okay, and this devil is being hardened. Okay, and as well with Joe Biden. Okay, these are two devils. Okay, but it's going into back, because this is the Roman Empire all over again. You had assassinations, okay, on the Roman Caesars, okay. You had conspiracies, conspirators, okay. There's no new thing under the sun. All right, so whatever uncoils as far as the events leading up to, whether Trump steps out of office or he says I'm not leaving, or whatever it is, ultimately it's about praying to Yahawashi Shai that he have mercy on you and Lord will be found worthy to escape these times. Because it's like as we sit, when we ponder and meditate on the things that come to pass, we can't think upon these things worthily. Okay, we're just ultimately gonna have to have faith, and Yahawashi Shai intervene and protect his men, okay, his elect. All right, because there's no way out besides through him, because of course the Lord's the one bringing the fire. Okay, so we're praying that he can keep us from that fire. All right, was ultimately getting these thermonuclear missiles. All right, but with that, Lord's will just be edifying. All this stuff. Don't pay too much attention to it. Because at the end of the day, these devils are gonna lose. All right, the kingdom of heaven is gonna be established here on the planet Earth, on the Yahawashi Shai, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, near America is gonna be royalty forever. These other nations be under you, and this devil. So why me Esau Edom after his period of slavery is going into perdition, destruction. All right. So with that, again, Lord's will is be edifying. As always, want to give our praise to Yahawashi Shai, Bashem Kakwadash, the bonus of the elders and apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings of the whole elect of Israel. Shalom.